Good morning, legends. How are we all doing today? Welcome to midweek. Did we already have the midweek reversal? Did it come early and catch us by surprise? Or is there one upcoming? That's what is left to be decided. How's everyone doing today? As you join me in the chat, be sure to say hello and let me know that you're around. I am very excited today because I'm taking a holiday after this. What is this thing called? Stream. So I'm pretty excited to have some time off after the crazy time we've had launching the new membership system. Good morning, Claire. All the diamond hands in the house. Who else? Sorry, guys. Who else we got here? Mark. Moet, Alexandru, Shannon, Rick, Janet, Prasad, all the TTC tribe. Welcome, everyone. Good to see you guys here. Lots of people just joined the Capital Club yesterday. If you are a brand new Capital Club member, be sure to leave me a comment in the chat. Let me know how you're enjoying it so far. Is it everything you thought it would be? Is it more? Is it less? Hopefully it's not less. All right. Who else we got here? Stephen, Carver, Katie, Sean, Pranav, who approved a holiday. Yeah, not you guys, that's for sure. One does not miss the boss's YouTube. That's awesome. I'm joining this weekend. Cool. Capital Club is everything. Thanks, Janet. Awesome to hear. Okay, so let's have a talk. I'm so sorry about this niggling cough. Let's have a talk. What I want to focus on today is mostly taking profits, because I think we've pretty much nailed our entries. And the next thing is, how do you know when price hits your original target? Is it worth holding on to, or, is that the time to just take it and run? And so I want to talk about yesterday's price action. Let's focus in on Bitcoin for that. Just a very quick recap. We had the half Batman pattern that led into rise level 1, into the board meeting, had a 2 here. This is on the 15-minute time frame, mind you. Sorry, guys. Had another one here, and then we had this final hit. Now, on yesterday's video, we had targeted this area between 20,005 to 20,006 as the initial target, and we also marked out above price that there was this previous vector candle on a higher time frame that we had to be careful of, but if we were going to get above this, that was the zone it was going to come into next, right? Now, this is where the idea of price hitting target and then deciding if you should actually end it there and get out, or what do you do? So what had happened here, this setup here that we were hoping for yesterday, price didn't come quite as low into the buy zone that I wanted, but we did have a very beautiful bounce off the 200 EMA, which set the initial low of the day as well. So that was an entry zone there. And our target price, we can see here, came in once, twice, and then create a lower high under it. So this is what I want to focus on, because at the time we had identified these wicks in here, and we had said that, we've come in there a number of times. We really need to see it break through if we're to believe we're to get up into these sell orders. Happened. So job done. Great. Now, here's the thing. Often, when price hits a target, if you've identified your targets correctly, when price hits your target, it will normally give you a second chance at it. And that's where you decide whether you're going to hold a trade or not. So for me personally, I rarely exit the first time price enters my target. I expect that there's going to be some sell-off there, because my targets are always just a little bit under high-level sell orders, or orders in the opposite direction, right? So it makes sense that we're going to sell off. However, I want to judge how strong that sell-off is before I exit. Sometimes I'll take partial profits, but when it comes, when it comes to being in trades that have the potential to become runners, then you want to see how price reacts after it gets into that zone for the first time. Now, when it gets into there for the second time, that's going to give you the bigger hint. And we can see here the second time we entered that sell zone, it became stronger. In addition to the fact that we wicked up higher into the sell zone, ended up with stronger sell orders, and the candle turned red, showing us that there was really high volume. We don't always get this, but in this case, we're pretty lucky that we also got a bearish divergence here on the RSI. So that really was a good hint to take profit. And even if you didn't take it there, the third attempt created a lower high. So if price can't return to a level after 3 times and break it, that's your hint to take profit on whatever trade you're in. It's also your hint to potentially, depending on where you are in the cycle, it's your hint to take a bag flip basically and take a short in the opposite direction. And I did see in the Discord briefly, I haven't had much time to spend in there, but I did see briefly a few people bag flip that trade. So well done to you guys. So the moral of the story, and the reason that I'm telling you this is because I know that a lot of people who are now starting to understand this method and want to trade it are attracted to the idea of trying to hold one trade through all 3 levels. No matter how much I say learn by taking profit in the board meeting, you guys don't listen. You listen to the parts of me that you want and not the parts of me that will help you. So so I know that a lot of you want to hold through all 3 levels. So I think it's really important that we focus in on targets, because the entry is easy, right? The entry is like W formation. In this case, but even there was a W on the 15-minute. The entry is fairly easy for us, and it doesn't have to be perfect. But if you want to make money, you really have to nail where you take your profit, right? Because it's not a profitable trade until you've closed that trade and taken that money off the table. So this was a really good example yesterday of having our first hit into the original target, second hit looking weak, third hit. If you get it, you don't always get it. Definitely showed you get out of this here, potential backflip. In addition to that, when we mark out a vector candle, when price gets up to the bottom of that candle, or in the opposite case, the top of it, if price can't even start to break through it, that's a very significant sign that it's running out of steam, especially if you see these big kind of wicks multiple times up that fall underneath it. Like if I go to ETH for a second, if you've been watching me this week, yesterday or the day before, I talked about this being the perfect entry because price couldn't even get into that area of interest. That area of interest is a previous vector candle. So if we have a really nice bounce off it, that's a beautiful spot to get an entry. But the same goes the other way. If we have a very nice bounce right under it, it's a good entry for a short, but it's also a very good sign to take your profit. So I hope that helps anyway, but I just wanted to talk about that because the thing is with this is that if you were trading this on a higher time frame, let's have a look. There's potential that there was only 2 rises. So let me just see what's going on. Yeah. So on the higher time frame, you might see as on a 1 hour that this was rise level 1, this is rise level 2. And you may not have taken profit because you believed that rise level 3 was to come. Again, problem being, look how many wicks on the 1 hour time frame in that consolidation zone. And then again, right underneath this 1 hour vector candle right here, we didn't even make it really back into the wick of it. So what you need to do when trading this method and looking for the levels is, even if you want to trade a higher time frame, you have to be aware of what's going on a lower time frame, because 3 level rises here. So we had rise 1, 2, and 3 on the 1 hour time frame equaled only 2, right? But in order to get a level 3 on the 1 hour time frame, we're either going to go into a board meeting on a lower time frame, so price is just going to go sideways, or we're going to retrace. Now, a retracement for a 1 hour time frame could equal 3 hits to the low on a 15-minute time frame. And that, my friends, is what I want to point out today, because if we are trading the 15-minute time frame, we can see the M formation here, and we can see this is drop level 1. Now, on a 15-minute time frame, you don't have to have a board meeting. You don't have to have a retracement between levels. You can have 2 drops in 2 candles, like one after the other. So that then begs the question, is this here drop level 2 and 3 together? And the only reason I say that, which is yet to be proven because we don't have a new day yet, we're in the dead zone. The only reason I say this has the potential to be 2 levels in one is because when you look at the volume down here, one second, sorry, when you look at the volume down here, see how there's a gap in that volume? So that kind of separates this move. It was only for 1 candle here. But there is potential that this is drop 2, this is drop 3. We had this big stopping volume candle here that stopped that volume, and then, obviously just retail bled it out for a little bit longer. So if that were the case, then we have to go back to this here and ask ourselves, if we're trading the 1 hour time frame, is this a retracement? Which, I mean, it's a bit of a stretch because it's almost 100% retracement. But what is the market maker doing on the 1 hour time frame when you look at this week so far? Now, we did have a news event last night as well, just to point out, and we know that news events disrupt the cycle. But we have more. We have more of them tonight and also tomorrow. So we're not going to have a typical week. We're not going to have a 3-day uptrend and a 3-day downtrend. Like, we're not that lucky this week. So we just have to keep that in mind. But what we can identify here is that after we got that information on the 15-minute time frame, this candle here has come back to recover all of this previous area here. Fine, no problem. Have we come back to recover this? Not fully. So this now, this candle here, part of it has been recovered, but let's see exactly where we are with that one. So again, we want to mark out the 50% line of that, and I think we've definitely had more than 50%. Yeah, these candles here have covered more than 50% of that. So we'll probably consider that to be fully recovered. And now we're coming back up to recover the rest of this, it potentially looks like. So that means that we're now looking here. So was that a bit of a fake move down last night? Just, A, news event, easy reason to do it. B, to recover this here. The problem being that if we have this move here that causes an imbalance because of high volume, fast move, and we recover it with another high volume, fast move, we don't actually clear the imbalance. So we really need to see, something like this. We need to see price creep up through here to rebalance this here. And if it recovers the entire thing, there could be more upside to come. But there is still the potential that we're only going to recover part of it. Where are we now? We're right on the 50% line now. And that this could actually end up being anywhere in the rest of this candle. If price rejects, I'd be watching it on the 15-minute time frame. But anywhere in this area, so this area is between 19,970 to 2,300. So anywhere in there, if you see on lower time frames, candles that look like this, that look really weak, lots of wicks, just don't really show any strength. I would say that what's happening right now is a little bit of a recovery of most of this, refill the imbalance before further downside. Now, meaning that this right here is the 1 hour time frame drop level 1, and we just simply didn't get 3 rises on the 1 hour time frame this week, and that can happen. It's not always going to be perfect. So that's what I'm not watching because I'm flying, but that's what I would be watching if I was going to be trading today. This area of interest tells me everything. There is also a lot of things happening in the heat maps that are making me very, very skeptical right now, and especially the fact that it lines up with, you know, the fact that we have news events. Let's talk about the news events first. So tonight, 10:15 Melbourne time, this is the one we want to watch out for, the ADP non-farm employment change. That's the big one. By the way, if you're enjoying this so far, please smash up that like button. If you are brand new here and have never watched me before, welcome. If you're enjoying the content, please also hit that subscribe. And second of all, was that second or third? I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, yes, tomorrow I will likely do a recorded version rather than a live because I'm traveling and it just won't be that easy to do a live one. So I'll try to do it before and still get it out at the same time. So back to this. So we've got this tonight. Then we also have unemployment claims that comes out weekly anyway, so we know that one is one to watch out for. And then the rest of the news events are pretty much on Friday night for us in Australia. Won't be that for the rest of the world, but ideally it doesn't really matter where you are in the world. If you're trading this particular strategy and you're day trading or swing trading for, 3-day swings here and there, you want to be closing your trades by the end of UK anyway. So these news events are around the end of the UK session on Friday. So wherever you are in the world, these news events shouldn't really affect us because you should be out of your trades. You should have taken your profit. You should be, out on the town, enjoying yourself and, being proud that you've had a good week. So these won't affect us, but this one possibly could. And then we've also got, we've also got tonight. So with that in mind, let's go back down to the smaller time frame. Have we got Asia should be just opening now. So let's see, what have we got going on the 15-minute time frame? So this candle here has almost had a full recovery. We've had 1 wick right to the top of it, and that's lining up with the 200 EMA. So definitely watch out around this area today. That is around, it's almost basically just above 20K. So that kind of makes sense. What was I going to say? If we reject under the 200 EMA, that's going to give you more confidence that we're coming down. However, it's a little bit too early for that to happen. So that's what's making me a bit skeptical. Unless Asia doesn't have a typical day, which is possible because we know the news event's going to throw things out. Let's just see how we go there. But I would definitely be watching this area around the 200 EMA to make a decision if we're going down further. If we break that 200 EMA, then we've got this candle here to recover on the 15-minute time frame. Would you say that this is an M formation, drop 1, drop 2, drop 3, final damage W here? Actually, you know what? Before I answer that, you guys tell me, would you say that is a possibility? Leave me a yes in the comments if you think there is potential that this is a final damage W. I'm going to take a sip while I wait for you to answer. Where's the volume in the W? So we don't get a volume usually on the second peak, but you are right that if it was going to be a final damage W, we probably would have a stopping volume candle on it. Possible. I like the W on the 1 hour, but yeah, so it doesn't matter if you like it better. I'm just asking if this is a potential final damage W. Still learning, unsure. Okay, so the only thing about the possibility of this being a final damage W, final damage is when the second peak is lower than the first peak. We did have the stopping volume candle up here that stopped this volume to the downside, and we have already recovered all of this, and we've created a higher low. So not that there's an entry on that. If you would have believed this was a W, which you're too late because the entry is down here, number 1, and then down here, number 2, and price is all the way back up here. But so it's just something to keep an eye on. If you're short, you want to see price now start to head further down and not be able to get back above that 200 EMA. Now, I'm going to leave it there actually. So keep that in mind. It might actually be a bit of a non-trading day. When the EMAs start to go super straight like this, see how basically every single EMA is straight? That's not good. Doesn't give us a hint of anything. We want to see them kind of move in a direction. And when we reject under them, not great. But if we're sideways, it doesn't take that much for them to push through and get above them. Let's talk about the heat maps. I nearly forgot that because this is what's making me sketch. And this always happens before news events too. See up here, see how we've got 1.6K worth of orders at 20,700? Why are they there when they're so far from the current price? It has to make you wonder, like, who knows something that we don't know, right? And so if we go and mark out that 20,700 on here, 20,700, that brings us up here until the 800 EMA. So how do I say this? Are we being set up for something? Like, was this move down setting us up to go short? And they really are actually going to, this is going to be the last potential rise on the 1 hour, or this was just a very dramatic retracement that was maybe exaggerated by a news event. This here is the start of rise 1. We're going to get up again to rise 3 up into here and then have a major sell-off potentially. I don't know. That's what we have to wait out for. But why would there be an order that is so large, so far from price, right? So that's one. In addition to that, that's making me super skeptical is we are on the last day of the month. I think earlier, no, it wasn't on here. It was in here where I posted on the weekend in Pro Charts. I'll see if I can find it. Pre-week update. Let me see if I wrote it. Yes. One thing I want to watch for this week is the monthly close. Last month, towards the end of the month, price was around 20K as well. And a couple of days before July ended, we had a huge run up just under $4,000. So price moved just under $4,000 right up until the month ended. If the same were to happen again, then that would mean after Sunday, Monday fake move, we should have an upside first half of the week, which we got, potential midweek reversal back down. Is that where we're at right now? Possible. So I'm going to say to you guys, the first thing to watch is this 200 EMA. That's the first thing, because we can see prices tried to get there a number of times. We can see it lines up with a vector. If we can get past this 200 EMA and successfully hold above it, I would be not surprised if we then make a run for the 800 EMA. Now, bear in mind that level that I pointed out that was up here, there still is all of this here that price would have to get through. So it's not a guarantee that we would go all that way. We've still got, fairly significant shorts around the 20,200 area as well. So if we could break through that, then the 800 EMA is going to become the one to watch next. When we look below price, there are fairly significant orders that are pretty close to yesterday's lows. So we've got here 1.6K at 19,600. So where is 19,600? Here, so that at yesterday's low again. So, again, when we have a look at the heat maps, that is just the highest level of long positions right now, but price would have to come down, eat all of these and continue down lower in order to even touch them. So that range really is, say, 19,750. 19,750, let me mark this out. 19,600. So that's kind of the range there that people are hoping to buy. Interestingly enough, at this point in time, that has been the low for the dead gap zone. So will 19,700 prove to be the initial low of today and give us another chance if it held there to take a long position? Don't know. We may be too late. And if we're too late, we watch and learn. That's fine. But if we're lucky enough to get another chance and we get a pretty decent bounce there, there would be a trade up to the 800. And if we break through that, then obviously we're going for the next vector, we're going for the next high, and lucky last, we're going for the 800 EMA. So that's how I feel about that. The other thing too is this is very dependent on what is going on in the market. And I just want to talk about this because it's funny how it hasn't been relevant the last couple of days, but it's fairly relevant now because both the S&P and the NASDAQ, if you can see here, the areas that I've marked out on both of these are previous vector zones. So when we scroll left, you can see these two candles here that needed to be recovered. And on NASDAQ, I think I did it on a higher time frame, but they were basically, we can do that one there. It's basically around there. And so when we now look at where they both are right now, we had an attempt into the zone on both of them. We've come down for a second one. Again, there is potential. It's too early to tell. This is a 4-hour time frame. But there is potential that this is also a final damage W on the 4-hour time frame for both of these. What we want to see now that they're at the bottom, they've fully recovered both of those candles. What we want to see is price start to move up and away. And if that can happen, then that's going to give me more confidence about our final damage W on Bitcoin. So watch these very closely today, probably the 1-hour time frame. If they're starting to come in to recover this candle here on both of them, we're going to be good. And finally, in addition to that, you need to watch the Dixie because the Dixie is in a range. It's just going sideways, which is allowing everything else to move. So A, Dixie continues sideways, going to be great for us to trade what we see. B, Dixie comes down, going to be great if we're feeling bullish and we feel that that W is a W. Dixie breaks this resistance up here. It's going to be all over for everything else, and that short is probably going to continue down. So those are the things that I would say to watch now. I'm happy for Dixie to continue sideways. As long as it does, we can just trade what we see. So just keep an eye on that before you make any decisions. Let's go quickly to ETH now. And ETH also initially yesterday, actually I'll expand this out. And so initially yesterday, price again didn't come down to my ideal area of interest, but we had a very delicious bounce. Well, not a bounce, we had a delicious hold that created the initial low of the day right off the 50 EMA. So that was a very, very good signal. If you didn't catch the Batman long, that was a very good signal to catch another long. So, which played out here. And our target we hit exactly, and the rule remains the same. That was our area of interest. That was our previous vector. We got the first candle in to it. We got our second chance with a bearish engulfing. That was your signal to either reverse or exit your long position. And then now we've watched our 3 moves down and we're in a full reset. This here created an imbalance. This here did not feel that imbalance because it was too fast of a move. But this here, see how price has crept sideways? It has refilled that zone. Fantastic. Now the market maker is free to move price wherever they want. So again, we're in the same situation. The EMAs are sideways, not the best. Need to wait and see if we can get above them. If we can get above, I mean, ETH is looking fairly good to me to have more of a move to the upside, providing it can break. Let me mark it out properly. Providing it can break above this candle zone right here, which is between 1550 and 1570. It looks like it wants to now. But if it gets through that, that's going to be fairly good. We still have to recover this candle at 1600 to 1630 because we didn't do it last time. So that's going to be our first, area of interest should this continue up today. So sadly, it may not be a day where you can get an entry unless you're already in an entry. Then what you are focusing on today is your targets and maximizing those profits as much as possible. Then, was there anything else I had to? Oh yes, we had to talk about. There wasn't much on High Block to talk about, I don't think. Let me just have a quick look when it decides to join us. Here we go. What is this? So we still have a lot of people very bearish. We've got almost double the amount of people bearish than are bullish. So that gives us an idea on retail sentiment. We've got, where have we got some high levels? These would have all been taken out already. Up here, that's 21.1 for 25x. 20.7. There you go. So 20.7 is going to take out these 50x traders. It's still a fairly large level when you look at this spike out here, especially. So I would say, and that lines up with that cheeky order that we're seeing up here that doesn't really make sense. So let's see if we get some continuation to the upside today and they actually come to liquidate those people and potentially reject off the 800 EMA on the 15-minute time frame. Now, finally, let's talk about, I just wanted to point this out. This is for my more long-term people. Pay yourself, guys, 100%. I want to talk about this for the long-term people because, you know, we are sort of in the stage of the cycle where we're like, is it time to invest or not? And, you know, one thing I said on when Bitcoin hit 17K or whatever it was, 17, 18, a lot of people were asking if it's the right time to buy. And the thing is what we need to understand about the cycles is that when Bitcoin finally does reach a bottom, it will reach that bottom multiple times. It doesn't just go there and shoot away. Whereas when we reach an all-time high, it goes there and it runs away, basically, right? So it's a very different effect. And this chart here gives us a really good example of that. You can see here, Bitcoin price moves up and then here we have one sharp like blow off top and bang, it's all over. So you really have to time your exits really well. Same thing over here, you know, had a big fall away here, had a big fall away. Lucky we got a second chance. But this here is showing us that in the bear market, this is the bear market channel according to it's the number of active entities that stay in Bitcoin throughout an entire cycle. We stay in these lows for a really long time. This doesn't show the 2017 bear market, but we end up hanging around there for quite some time, and there's a lot of time to decide. And this channel here is showing this metric in this range is considered to be the bear market portion of cycles, right? So this part here is showing us the last one from 2018, and this here is showing us current, and it's basically saying we're in max pain right now. Just to read this out, it's showing that it's quite clear that there is no widespread loss of hodler conviction that has taken place. The decline in lifespan metrics actually bodes well for the longer term, as it indicates old coins are stationary and declining prices have little psychological impact on these people. So what it's basically saying, that there were a lot of other things in this that I actually really, really liked. And if you really are interested in long-term investing, I highly recommend that Glassnode has a YouTube channel and they do a report every Tuesday. I highly recommend that you subscribe to it and get the notification and watch it every Tuesday if you want to invest for the long term. You learn so much. But basically the overall message of that was that of what they brought out yesterday was saying that we're in max pain now. And it doesn't mean that we can't go down further. But everybody who is not strong enough to be in crypto has left. And that's usually when we start to see a bottom. So the people that are still here in crypto are considered to be people who are going to be here. Like they're hodlers, they believe in crypto, they're not selling, they don't really care how much it drops. Like they're here for the long term and it's fine. But we're really dancing on the edge of this channel here. And we need to see if it holds from here or not. Now that doesn't mean that, price can't go down further, because this isn't really correlated to price. We're just saying that a bear market, what usually ends a bear market is when the final damage is done with those that can't handle it. And then we start again and we start to attract new people. So stage 2, and the problem that we have right now is that we're not attracting new people. Bitcoin, the market, everything that's going on in the world, constant talks of recessions, et cetera, all of that stuff is making people really scared, and it's making people move to cash. So sadly, we can't end a bear market until a new wave of people want to start coming in. So yes, this could drag out for a lot longer. But the point being that if you're long term and you don't really care, the question you have to ask yourself is, Bitcoin's at, around 20K now. How much further do you think it's going to drop? Is it going to make a difference to you if you bought at 20K or 10K, if you started to buy in slowly and average down? If you were to believe that it's going to 100K in the next cycle, your average entry might end up being 15K. Are you really going to care if it's 15K or 10K or 11K or 12? Like, you're not going to care. So all of these all of these things are really pointing to the fact that it's starting to be a good time to very slowly start to buy in for the long term, but just have a really good plan around that, and only buy in if you can handle another 50% drawdown. That's how you pretty much make up your decision, right? But a lot of people who are waiting for 10K before they buy, you're going to end up waiting and buying at 30K, and I guarantee you that, because you will never pick the bottom. And Bitcoin will know, like the market makers will know where retail are waiting to buy, and they won't give it to you. And so you'll end up, price will drop below 20. You'll sell your final coins that you've held on all through 60K, hoping it bounces back. You give up, and then all of a sudden price turns around. You don't get your 10K entry. Bitcoin's now 30K, and you're buying in higher than where you sold. So don't be that guy. Don't be that person is what I'm trying to say. This was just a really good metric. I really enjoyed reading this today, because, at the end of the day, when is the time to buy for the long term? When we're in max pain. So that is it. We are in max pain. We may hang around here. Like, this could be the bear market bottom at 19K. We don't know. Somewhere between 17 to 19. It could be lower. We don't know. What we do know is we're in max pain. It's a good time to start for the long term. That's all I've got for you guys. I hope that was helpful. Have an amazing day. Be careful out there. Don't forget to pay yourself if you're in profit. And I won't see you tomorrow, but I will do a recording. And finally, if you're wanting to join us in and learn this method, we have released all of our packages now. You can head to the link in the description and check it all out. See you later, guys. Have an amazing day.